The Kentucky Derby is the longest consecutive running sporting event in the world and brings the most influential individuals from all across the globe to Louisville, Kentucky to enjoy the greatest 2 minutes in sports. Starting in 2003, the Bridgman family, led by Patriarch Ulysses Jr. Bridgman, have held the most prestigious Derby Charitable Celebrity Gala to continue to highlight the importance of African American presence and culture during this historical race. In 2020, the TRIFECTA, in partnership with Kenny Burns and Dapper Dan, will provide the first of many conversations to discuss the power of culture, fashion, history, and how they will shape the future of the Kentucky Derby experience. Well, first and foremost, Dapper Dan, it is a pleasure to have you on the TRIFECTA Gala episode. And, you know, man, I really just want to start by saying, first of all, your outfit is amazing. And of course,
thank you.
Of course, you're wearing yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah. That, man, you know, growing up in the 80s, you know, I was inspired heavily by the album cover of Paid in Full with Eric B. and Rakim. And for the first time in my life coming up in a single parent home, you know, I saw the vision of the streets. But then when I saw the album cover, that I was like, Rakim is a hustler. But he wasn't. He was, you know, a 5% or a 7%er, and he didn't curse in his raps. And it took me on this journey, man, to play both sides of the fence with knowledge and being street smart. And I think you exemplify that from a fashion standpoint back in those days. What inspired Dapper Dan to want to get into fashion back in the day?
Well, I had to look at, you know, I was constantly evolving spiritually. And like being born and raised in the street, the first things I learned was how to hustle in the street, you know? And then going through gambling, the drug game, the paper game, you know, all of that. I kept trying to get away from the things that would hurt my community because I couldn't live with that no more.
Right.
So when I finally walked away from the drug game, I said, you know what? In the street game, you know, the last game like I really did in terms of the street was gambling, and right. I got to the point that I didn't want to even be in that environment anymore. So after that, I went into what we call the paper game, the checks and all of that, you know.
Right.
And then after that, I said, man, I kept evolving. So I said, you know what? I got this money from that game. Now, what could I do that'd be a positive thing for the community and that I would like doing? So I say, you know, I like clothes, man. So I say, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into the clothes game. I went to Africa and came back, and that's where I initially got the idea from, you know, going to Africa for the second time. The second time I went to Africa.
Yeah, so fashion has been a part of your game as long as you can remember?
Yeah, well, fashion was like the first thing that allowed me not to be poor. To, you know what I mean? It was like, fashion was like putting on a new skin. You know what I mean? It took you out of your environment instantly, you know? And I like that feeling because I came up with holes in my shoes and raggedy, but if I got fly, I was just as good as anybody else. So that stayed with me, you know what I mean? So that was fashion is that instant transformation.
Right.
That makes you feel like, you know, I'm somebody now, you know what I mean? Because I had holes in my shoes. My first wardrobe, man, I stole out of department stores, man. You know, I was determined to be fly, you know what I mean, at all costs, because it made me feel like somebody, man. So I wanted to take that to my community, man. And even today, man, I get excited when people come and I dress them up and I can see how they transform, how they get in the mirror and how they feel about themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So I finally got something that I could do in my community, real positive, and that'll make people feel good, you know?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I still get it.
That's
Yeah. I
inspirational.
still get excited yeah, I still get excited when I address people, you know,
That's
to see them
awesome.
transform, man.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Dap. So let me ask you a question. Do you remember? So you're getting into the fashion game. You're making a positive impact on your community. Who were some of the first people that Dapper Dan was styling and dressing up?
Um, in terms of hip hop or in terms of the street. And if you
Terms
talk
of
about the street,
your
the
first muses, who were your first muses, street or hip hop?
no street. Uh, I always focus. Well, because I come from the street, I had a reputation in the street, and everybody in the street liked the way I rap. I was Dapper Dan before I opened up Dapper Dan, first of all. So everybody liked the way I dressed. So and then my street skills, my street hustling skills was like I'm a Solomon, you know. They
Right.
call me a Saul because I mastered every game, all the street games, you know. Even now, when I take people walking through Harlem, I take you like when you come to Harlem, I take you walking through so you can hear the stories. You can hear them from the street, the mouth of the street. So anyway, as a result of that, I was my first influencer. You get what I'm saying now?
That's right.
I was my first. I was my first influencer. I already had influence as a dresser when I came into the clothes game. So now I wanted to make expensive clothes. So I catered to all the gangsters in my community first. You know what I'm saying? So my first big gangster that I took care of was a guy named Jack Jackson. Jack Jackson is the one who told on John Gotti's brother, Gene Gotti. So
Wow.
once you get the king, yeah, once you get the kingpin, all the other pins fall down. So they all fell in line after that, you know?
Wow.
So that was the first, yeah, yeah. So and then the reputation spread from there. So when you get the main hustler in your community, right? Automatically, the other gangsters in other communities, they're all gangsters. Like all the big events, you know what I mean? Like basketball, the playoffs, baseball, all the hustlers get to know each other around the country. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So when they see a fly dude from Harlem with something they never seen before, they want to know where that came from. So I had the kingpins in Harlem, and then next thing you know, I got the kingpins in Newark, I got the kingpins in Philly, I got the kingpins in Detroit, all across the country. They were saying, "Yo, man, what's up with that?" Because I was the first to do it. You know?
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
legendary in itself.
So
That's legendary
yeah.
in itself, Dap. So
But
you went from
go
the kingpins to the hip hop game because
but
we all know that the rappers are in love with the gangsters. Back in the day, you know, the hustlers were as famous as the rappers. Who were some of the first rappers that you clothed?
Eric B. and Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J. Those were the main ones, you know, in the beginning. Um, but let me express a few points to you about the transition from the gangsters to the rappers. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Secretly in all the consciousness of most of the rappers, when you hear them talk that G toy, secretly they have this subconscious desire to be a gangster. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? To be a gangster. So that thread that runs through fashion is all that masculinity is diverging now. You know what I mean? It's filtering out now into different types of personality. But the clothes game through fashion and through the rappers is this certain powerful thread of masculinity. You know, that's and when you look at it, the very nature of battle rap, you know, implies that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? The way they come at each other. So it's always been that challenge. So now the rappers, as it moved into, you know, into rap music, you know what I'm saying? It's that challenge, that masculinity challenge. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, I even remember when LL had his first big fight. You know what I'm saying? his first big knuckle game at the Apollo with Cool G rapping up. So it always been that kind of thing. I
Right.
wish it would go away now, because
Yeah.
it has gotten too intense. And when you look at it, even up until today, when you look at rap music, you can see that overflow from the gangster culture. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
you got some conscious rappers. You have conscious rappers that come along and try to shift the game to where it really should be. You
Yeah.
follow what I'm saying? But it's still there. It's still there. It's still that contest. It's still that challenge to who you are. Where you got you got to clap back. You
Yeah.
always got to clap back. Fashion, fashion coming from, let's say, the streets, still has that thread running through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's changing a lot now. It's changing a lot now, but you can still see it. It's still that powerful thread.
No question. So that, let me ask you this question. When you got into, doing the rappers and you started getting these materials, these known brands involved, right? You started making these vinyl jackets, these leather jackets. How did the Gucci, obviously that era was Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Fendi. People wanted to get this high end offering, and you made it almost better than the actual fashion houses that offered it. How did that come to fruition?
Because European fashion went through a burnout. That elitist fashion, the Ralph Lauren's, those major houses, they couldn't cater to who we are, And so everything that took place in music, the next natural shift was for fashion. You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So the same way we picked up music and made it richer, you know what I mean? And gave it more flavor.
Yeah.
The next natural step was fashion. You know what I'm saying? So when these brands came out, it's just like their music came out. We shifted, and it shifted to who we are.
Right.
And when it shifted to who we are, and I saw what we need to do, I just transformed it. I just took it out. I made it so it reflected who we are.
Right.
And just to say it was inevitable that our take on what fashion should be, it was going to be global. You know what I mean? Because so goes music, so goes fashion. Do you follow what I'm saying now?
Absolutely.
So if you look at what I did with fashion, is exactly what we did with music. It's no different.
Right.
The same thing. We make music for us. I made fashion for us. And our culture platform is so powerful. It just took over the world. It was inevitable. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Diane Dixon, Olympic track star from Brooklyn. She wore that Louis Vuitton piece you made so famously now that Gucci ended up, basically using, and you are in the position you are right now because of that picture, correct?
Exactly.
The resurgence of Dapper Dan's genius. The resurgence of Dapper Dan's genius came because your offering in the 80s was rediscovered by a global brand, a global fashion house, and you were finally, as far as we are concerned, as your people, as the people you influenced, have been given your due. How did that feel, Dap?
Okay, here's the thing. I didn't grow up in the age of social media, so I never thought I would get this kind of recognition. I knew it would exist in my community, and I make people who come in and out of Harlem and like that. But I never thought it would go global. Now, back in 2000, I saw like Tom Ford and the major houses copying me, but I never thought that I would get the credit that I deserved before it. But when you have to give the credit like to Diane Dixon for having that picture, but also to Beyonce for having that jacket on to make that connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those like Diane Dixon was like, oh, she was like an idol to us during the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And here's the idol, our idol, you know, during the 2020 or whatever we have you.
Yeah, with Beyonce, right?
Yeah. So we was able to make that connection.
Yeah.
They say, well, what? You know, and somebody say, hold on, Dapper Dan did that way back in the day. And so it all came together.
That's beautiful,
you know?
Man.
And that was
it's a testament, Dan, to, you know, just resilience as a people, man. For you even to be still here doing it again on a high level, it just shows you that if you put forth the effort, you're going to get what you're supposed to get. You're going to get what you came for ultimately. Yeah. I'm just so happy for you, bro.
Yeah, and you got to do your homework. Like right now, while I'm self-isolating, so on late at night, because I'm never up during the day. I'm never up until late at night. While I'm up, I watch like the Netflix documentaries.
Yep.
And I'm gonna connect everything I'm saying. So just try to follow.
Absolutely.
The Netflix documentaries. So I look at Miles Davis, his rise and falls, how he reinvented himself. Nina Simone, how she reinvented herself. John Coltrane, how he invented himself. You know what I mean? And I look at that and I look at it and say, damn, this is what I did.
Yeah.
It's about reinvention. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing is in the process of reinventing yourself, you have to be conscious of what you did. And you know, and yes, and where you take it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Coltrane, Nina Simone, and all of them, they said, I can't get it. They won't let me in that with that. I need to take it somewhere else now.
Yes.
And I need to come back from who I am. You know what I mean? It's that process of being rebirth, like just like Malcolm. You know what I mean? You get that rebirth. You got to come out of it. You know? So now here's the important thing right now about fashion. As same with hip hop, people have to know what transpired with what I did.
Yes.
You know
your history.
White people, listen, white people get it. I wasn't even that recognized here in Harlem. They say, oh, that's just some fly stuff. But they didn't see the big picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was in your European magazines before I was even in the black local magazines.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, wow, look what he did. They understood what we do. We just said it's fly, it's pretty. I can equate that with what I do on the street. You see, I'll stop a young guy coming down the street with a T-shirt on. I say, I like that, man. I say, what that name on it means. He pulls the shirt out, he got to look at it. See, he is involved in that shirt because it's pretty. When I see the shirt, I'm looking at the symbols and what it means and how it represents him. So that's what I did with fashion. I said, I need to let this represent who we are, but also what it means. Now, when the white people picked up, they said, hold on, you see what this guy did? You know what I mean? Like when you see the Beatles give credit to us, they say, hold up, you see what they did?
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you see Benny Goodman give credit to Armstrong, Louis Armstrong, you say, see what he did. So when other people see what you did, your people say, damn, everybody, all these white folks going crazy over there, but then these European brands copying that, but then, and now they gonna say, oh shit, Dapper Dan belong to us.
Right.
Man, Dapper Dan. So they get into what this really means.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what's the gist of this? You know what the gist of this? What did I do? You know, there's a certain ingredients that goes into our music. Yes. And it floats straight through our music. And I'm gonna be talking about that later on. And there's a certain thing that goes to our fashion. That goes, when I went into the fashion and extracted, I said, hold on. And then they saw what I did. I said, oh, this is what he did. Right. He created logomania.
Yes.
Logomania. I took their logos and improved on it. The same way we improved on music. We came here as slaves. We didn't know nothing about this Western music in the Western sense. So we took that African thing that we came here with, the bear, necessities of the essence of who we are,
Yes.
transform that into music. And that's what I did with the fashion.
Man, you
know what
did
I mean?
it.
And then
You got me hyped, Dap. You got me hyped, Dap. I'm over here hyped. I'm starting to sweat, Dap. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we got to look at that. That's what I tell young people. Look at it. What is the essence of it, you know? So
Right.
logomania means that we took symbols and reappropriated these symbols to fit who we are.
Yes, sir.
Same thing we did it with the English language. We didn't come here speaking English.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Dap,
So
first
we
of all,
take what.
First of all, I want to say something, man. That was so inspiring. That, like, you have no idea. And this is for all creatives. This is for people that have ideas, that start and stop. You know, it's a testament of putting one foot in front of the other. And the appreciation has to start with yourself. And I see the self-confidence in you. I see the warrior mentality in you, by all means necessary mentality in you. And that just warms my heart, man, because how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking that?
75.
And in 75 years, you look in your 50s, Dap. I'm not, there's no cap, as the youngins say. You look good, man. That black don't crack, but I wanna shift the conversation a little bit. And you're speaking of legacy, you're speaking of how to create for yourself, for your people. And I'm flabbergasted when I think about the Kentucky Derby. When I think about the Kentucky Derby, in the first, Kentucky Derby, there were 13 of the 15 riders in the race were African American, right? But you look at the Kentucky Derby and you don't really think this is our thing, this is for us, or we even participated in. Just like you saying, like you did all that you did, and you were popular in the hood, but then it took the white man in the magazines, this, that, and the third, to celebrate you in the way that, our people should have been amplifying and celebrating you. And I feel like that's what's so important about the TRIFECTA Gala, and what Junior Bridgman and Eden Bridgman and Justin Bridgman are doing, because they're reminding people that we started this thing. This is a part of ours.
Yeah, and you hit on exactly the point I'm trying to bring home. If we don't know our history, we can't build on it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go to our history and say, yeah, this is us. Y'all doing this because we did this. You know what I mean? And that leaves a rich, fertile ground for our seedlings to grow in. Yes. So they got to know we was the first to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember when I started.
What'd you say?
Yeah. I remember like my father left home when he was 12 years old. I get that. I didn't get that, right? So I'm studying why he went through. I say, damn, my father was 12 in 1910. And that's like right on the cusp, the overcusp of the Reconstruction era. I said, my father wasn't putting up what they was going in the South. And then I started reading up on cowboys and stuff like that. And I come to find out the original cowboys, they called cowhands was the white guys. The cowboys was the black guys.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So they just started calling them all cowboys. But originally they called us boys, and we was the cowboys, and they was the cowhands. Wow. You know what I'm saying? To differentiate, and then they all started got gentle, and they started calling, and yeah. But
I didn't even know that.
It's amazing things.
That's some history right there. I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Dap, I want to switch the conversation a little bit, man. I want to talk about the Derby, man. This would have been your first time at the TRIFECTA Gala in the Kentucky Derby if the COVID-19.
Man, I was looking forward to that. Let me tell you something.
I know. Man, I was looking forward to your outfit.
Yeah, but think this. Let me tell you something. What's big, I don't want to blow the brothers out, but everybody coming up in Harlem, when I hear the old timers talk, like I remember Boston Blackie, and another dude they had named Philly Red. All these gangsters I used to see from players from other countries, all of them used to say, man, we going out to Derby. You know what I mean? The pimps used to take their hoes there. You know what I'm saying? Pickpockets used to go there. All the players used to go there. It was a big thing to go out there, you know. Pimps used to, I used to hear, I see all the pimps leaving to bring their entourage out there. I said, yo, man, that Derby, something going on, man. And then, you know, we had them all coming through Harlem, and you hear them thinking with them different little accents. Yeah, man, you know, I'm going up in there, that Derby. You know, I'm Derby down. You know, so it's a you know, so all the guys who could dress with the flyers cars. So that was always big with us. Wow. Who knew what was happening, you know, on the national scene. But like on the level that you're doing it now, man, that's amazing because you can see the richness of the Derby as well, you know?
Yes. So just to touch on the Bridgman family, man, and who they are, you know, it's what you really want to build for all Black families, to be honest. You want to work hard as the leader of your family. You want to build a legacy much like you for your family to follow in and have something to really sink their teeth in. And since the Bridgman children have taken this and made it the TRIFECTA Gala for the 3 children, that's why they named it TRIFECTA. But for them to do that is so inspiring because, you know, they are bringing the high-level fashion, the philanthropic organizations and meaningful partnerships to the table. And I just want to know, man, like when it comes to Derby tradition and what you're familiar with, you know, how important is that history? And why should we continue to tell the story? How are you going to help tell the story?
Well, you know what, man? My intention was when I went there, but I have been looking at a lot of old Derby pictures from, you know, to see how Black folks got down when they came there. And I said, I want to do this in that vein, but I wanted to step it up so that people, when they connect me to what this is, they can connect the history to that, where it come from. I want to be a catalyst for people of color to go into and look at the historical thing that we did associated with that, man. So I was really excited about that, man. Very excited, man.
Yeah, we know.
I think it's
what'd you say, that?
Man, I saw myself on man taking a picture on a horse with a Gucci saddle and me Gucci there with my riding outfit and everything, man, and then switching up, you know, doing it all kind of way, man. I was coming at y'all, you know what I'm saying? I was coming at y'all, like, so to make it an experience that for today, that'll make them go in the past and not make them want to take it to the future like that. That's how I like to do it, you know?
I love it, man. I got to get into some of these traditional fabrics because I want to get a little more surgical and technical. Some of the traditional fabrics, Dan, are like seersucker. You know, people are very familiar with the tulips and things. What would have been some fabrics that you'd have liked to put on people at the Derby?
Definitely seersucker, and definitely Dupioni silk, what the players call pepper silk. You know what I mean? Yeah, those. Yeah, and pepper silks, mohairs, those traditional classical fabrics like that. That when you look at them, you can say, "Oh wow," you know what I mean? So you know, before designer logos came out, everything was about the fabrics. You know what I mean? So I would like to have took it back to there, man. And that Dupioni silk, when the light hit that, and when the light hit that mohair, and you know, and all these fabrics bring an outfit to life. You know what I mean? It make you look larger than.
Hey, Dap, guess what I'm wearing? Like, guess what I'm wearing, Dap?
What you wearing? I'm
wearing that silk you just talked about. Yeah, I'm wearing that silk.
Oh yeah, that's silk. Yeah, that's silk. That's silk. Yeah. So, but you gotta get like. But you know what else got to be there? Because you got a lot of Caribbeans coming through there. You know what I mean? A lot of yard boys coming through there. So you got to have that fly linen up in there. You know? Yeah, because they like that linen. You know, with the right gauge, with a little heavier gauge. Yeah.
Now I love that, Dap. So you said in your book that everything in your mind don't look good on your behind. And I love that.
That's right.
And for the Kentucky Derby attendee, who who do you see, like how do you see that? Like, I think sometimes people at Derby, they go a little overboard because they're supposed to have the hats and they're supposed to be loud. But I even like the way Justin Bridgman does it, like, and Eden does it. They look so sophisticated and classic. What would you have to say to people that overdo it, you know, and how to find their personality in their outfit?
Well, you know what? You put two different things together. Overdoing it, right? And then traditional. We need both of them. We need both of that. When the yard boys come, when the Jamaican boys come, they gotta look the height of Jamaican. When the city boys come, they got to look the height of the city. When those who understand the tradition of Derby come, they got to look the height of that. We got to always be careful not to like try to gravitate towards the middle. We got to keep that expansion growing, because that's what our music does. That's the way our personalities are. We should be a reflection of that. So it should be, fashion should be like a thing. Well, this is Derby. So we got to have unity, but not uniformity. So they give it that flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, say that one more time for the people in the back, Doc.
Yeah, we got to have, in fashion, we got to have that, you know, that unity, but not that uniformity, man. We got to let them know, man, we got personality, we got reflection, we got different elements of the culture, and we can get to the height of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it.
And you have styled people your entire life. You have influenced fashion. You know, like, what would you tell someone that's a little apprehensive? Because I agree with that. You know, I like to put on my things, you know what I'm saying? But like, for instance, that Dippity silk, I don't know if that's a correct name, but that silk you were talking about.
Dupioni silk, yeah.
Like, I'm in love with that because you said when the light hits it. I'm the kind of guy that when I show up, but what would you tell someone who is just apprehensive and doesn't want to let their hair down, but can be fabulous at the same time, which is a little encouraging?
You know what? It should always be, dressing should be for two reasons, right? The first reason is, what do you want to accomplish by the way you want to look? You know what I mean? And when you get to a point where you don't have to worry about accomplishing something because you are accomplished, then you can do what you really want to do, dress the way you really want to dress, because it don't make a difference. But my whole philosophy, my whole life is, how do I want people to see me? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when I was in the paper game, you know what I mean, and checks and stuff like that, I made sure I was suited and booted right. You follow what I'm saying? And then when I came uptown, I look uptown. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is this, it's very important for you to look based on what you want to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
That's the most important thing. You know what I mean? For what you want to come, dress for your look.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, if you're rich enough and you just don't care, you're a nonconformist, dress how you feel. Then that's the artistry in us. You know what I'm saying? That's the artistry in us, man. So you just go like that, man. Like in the documentary with look, I'm gonna give you a prime example. In the documentary with Miles Davis, when he was switching up his music, he switched up his look.
Yeah.
He said, because this is I'm going after this now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. And he was fly on in both stages.
Yeah.
But that's the way I see it. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. So if the Kentucky Derby was your personal fashion show, how would you, regiment, how would you put it together? Like, what would be that from the jockey silks to the red carpet?
I go with the colors. I would go with the colors. You know, traditional things with like really bright colors, man. You know, to give it that richness, man. My take would be off. I like the way the jockeys use those colors and everything.
Yeah.
My take would be off that. I would play behind that. You know what I mean? I had some outfits looking like that. Somebody look. Everything you see, that was, let's see, it's on 72nd Street and Broadway, man. I go down there and I look at the architecture. When you see the new buildings that they built, and then you see the old buildings that they built, the new buildings, they built them so that they blend with the old buildings. That's what I would like to do for Derby. You know what I mean? You go there, you say, yeah, that's it. But damn, look at the twist on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I give it that new twist, but you could tell that it's from that same strain that it came from. You know, like that.
I love it. I love it. Man,
But you know what I really, you know what I like the old man spats. You know the boots, them old man spats. I be play with them. Yeah, man. And the bus-toe kangaroos. I give it all a new. Yeah, bus-toe kangaroos. That was big back in the day. You know.
That's awesome.
And the spats. All I would be. Yeah, I have a lot of things I could play with for that, man.
I love that. I love that, Dap. And so, man, in closing, I got a few more questions for you, man. But, you know, what would you tell the next generation of designers who may come from backgrounds or worlds away, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, want to be in the epicenter of fashion and want to be in this industry?
Okay. I think, like, the most important thing that you can do, the most important thing that you can do is to know the history of fashion as it relates to us. That's the most important, because my heart, man, my heart fell out my body when I saw us lose all the brands, all the black brands, because they didn't do homework. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
They didn't know, they had no substance.
Wow.
You know, they had no substance. You know, you gotta, when you look at European brands, they're tied into European culture. You follow what I'm saying? No, not just street culture. We got to take it all the way back. You know what I mean? When I came into fashion, I came into with a great understanding of what symbols are about.
Wow.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Symbols are about. And when I did the logos, and when I took their symbols and their logos, I already had a great understanding of the power of symbols, because when I was studying religion, symbols in terms of religion controls billions of people in the world.
Wow.
You know, the star and the crescent, the cross, the Star of David is symbols. So you build around a symbol of who you are.
Wow.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
You build around a symbol for who you are. You take it deeper. So when people see your product, you know, people, listen, prime example, you see people, very conservative people, who wear Dapper Dan stuff. And I would like suggest a little small patch. They say, no, give me that big Dapper Dan. They want that big Dapper Dan patch. When you look in their wardrobe, there's nothing in their wardrobe like that. But it's the symbol of what that means, because to them, that meant they have on their back somebody who stood up to the system. So that big thing on their back defines that this is what this is about. You know, this ain't fashion. This is revolution.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
this
if
ain't
your
fashion.
brand,
this is revolution. This ain't fashion. This is
right.
revolution. This ain't fashion.
Exactly.
This is revolution.
Yeah, this is us taking over for us. You know what I mean? So that's what you got to do. What can I leave here? What kind of statement could I make? How can I show my people how proud I am of who I am? And let me take it from there. That should be the platform. Yeah. That should be your platform. You know?
Yeah, I want to.
So now, and close.
That's an important statement, Dapper Dan, legend, because, you know, we're almost taught that when we make it to a certain level, we got to sell off. We're almost taught that keeping something forever is almost taboo. But that's what it's really about. And that's what you're saying. Like you're building something to have an effect on culture.
Exactly.
You're building something to mean something to somebody. And I love that you said that, OG.
Yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to be steps in the staircase to get us to the roof, man. That's what we got to do. You know, we just don't, walk away from the staircase? Never. You know,
I love
never.
it.
Keep climbing.
I love it. And also, this is a funny question. So these are all names of winning horses. We have American Pharaoh, Secretary, Justify. I'll have another one. War Emblem, Street Sense. All these are names, like I mentioned, of winning horses. If you had a horse in the Derby, what would Dapper Dan name?
Oh, okay. Let me see. What's the? I got this thing that let me let me give it let me put it in the. I have this thing that I do with my grandkids that they whenever we talk to each other on the text each other on the phone, they're supposed to put POS, which is the essence of everything that we need to do. POS stands for power over self, right?
Okay.
So I would have to incorporate a name that would speak to that. You follow what I'm saying?
A
A
black
name that
stallion
would
named
say,
POS.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. A black stallion named POS. So and people would have to say, well, what does that mean? It's power over self. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to do. Each morning, why it's so important. Each morning that we get up, every day, we have rules that we set for ourselves in our mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we can live the truth that we have, you know what I mean? Then we have power over self, and then we can grab it. I was watching a documentary last night on China, right? And Confucius in one of the documents, they said Confucius says the greatest warrior is the one that wins the war over himself. You know,
Woo!
the greatest warrior is the warrior that wins the war over himself.
Yeah.
You know, and I would tell all kids, I say, listen, man, it's easy for me to give yourself orders, and it's easy to give somebody else orders. Give yourself some orders and see how that work out. You know,
Come on.
if you can stick with all of what you know, and live by your own truth, you get it. That's what I say. And that comes through power over self, man.
Wow.
And I live that, man. You know, I challenge myself with that, man. You know,
So
I get up in the morning, I do inventory. What'd
you say?
No, I say I get up, I live with that, man. I get up in the morning and I decide what I'm gonna do. And at the end of the day, I say, did I do that? And that's how I take inventory over who I am, man. I got to have power over self, man. If I can't control me, man, I can't expect to control things outside of me, man. You know, it all starts with me.
I love that. OG, that was brilliant. So we're going to make sure that the Bridgmans get with Churchill Downs, and we're going to get a black stallion called Power Over Self, POS, and we're going to win the next year, 2022. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I got two more questions for you, and these are very important to me because I think, like you said multiple times in our conversation today, that music, you know what I'm saying, was our blueprint. You know, we figured out how to master music. We became $1 trillion industry. Obviously, you know, you have a soundtrack. What does Dapper Dan listen to? What gets Dapper Dan going? I need to add it to my playlist right now.
Well, you know what? What's very important to me is the connection that connects all the music together. And so I look for that. Let me tell you what happened. I got to tell you the story, right? I said when I reached this point that I have global recognition, now it's time for me, because this was always, my whole trajectory was inspired by me going to Africa, right? So I said, I have to go back in Africa now and get our symbols and launch the Dapper Dan brand based on our African symbols,
wow,
right?
I love that.
And so what I did, I went back to Nigeria. I went to the art gallery / museum, bought $500 worth of books on the Yoruba religion, and bought $500 worth of fabric, and had them teach me, the curator of the museum, teach me the significance of the symbols.
Wow.
So I could take these symbols back. Right? But now the Yoruba religion, and over here, it's the most powerful religion over here that they never took from us. Not that everybody should submit to it, but it has variation. You know, Santeria, and Candomblé in Brazil, you know what I mean, Louisiana, everywhere you find that, in Haiti, everywhere. So I say, I'm gonna take the symbols from the Yoruba religion and use them. But when I got there, this is very important. When I got there, I found out that 95% of the Yorubas don't practice that anymore.
Wow.
So I said, wow. Right? And then like I say, well, what is it can I use, right? And then I started thinking about all the musics that I grew up under, right? And then I started remembering back when my brother and them had me playing in the band, where we have the clave. The clave is them sticks that you put together and go click, 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 click. And what I found out that in all of our music, all Black music, the foundation of it is the beat that the clave sets up. So I say, you know what? What will touch us all? Do you notice how the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, all the Latinos, all the people of color in the Western Hemisphere have a strain that run through it? I say, I got to get to that, because if I get the religion, it don't touch everybody.
Wow.
But what we all feed off, that clave. You know what I'm saying? It runs through all the music. It runs through all the music. You ask any musician, Black or Puerto Rican or Mexican, all people of color, and you ask them about that clave, they can say, oh yeah, the clave. The clave, that certain beat. And you see it in the children. You know what? When you see little children, they never knew how to dance. But when you see them pick a step, pick something out of the music, and you say, damn, they got the beat. Well, when they say the beat, that's the clave. That sets the tone. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look for that thing that sets the tone, that touches on all people of color. And that's got to be my symbol. How do I represent that in fashion? How do I tell that story? And that's who we are. That's what fashion should do. Fashion should say, this is who we are. Look what we got. Look what they know.
Clave, baby. I love it, man.
Yeah, so,
you're so inspiring. You have so much knowledge, Dan. Like, it's just so inspiring, man, the way you think. To say that we all march to the same. I ask you your favorite song. You tell me it's the clave, because it's all the same beat. We all move we're all connected. It's in the DNA. It's in the connective spirit.
There you go.
Of life.
You got it. That's what we got to do. I got to be there. It can't be me. Whatever I find, got to be us.
Hey,
then I'm happy.
Hey, Dapper Dan, this conversation, man. Wow. And we were supposed to have this in person. Next year, we're gonna have this conversation in person. We will have done several things together by then, God willing. But last question of the day, the Bridgman family have built an amazing legacy. And so have you. And when you look at Black families, Black wealth, building Black wealth, our culture, it's about that legacy. And what does legacy ultimately mean to the legend Dapper Dan?
Well, legacy to me means what can I leave here? You know what I mean? What can I leave here that's going to enable, not money, not even land, all money. I would like to leave that. But what kind of inspiration could I leave here that could enable somebody to start from zero? Because they might not have land.
Yeah.
They might not have money. What can I leave here that starts with zero? So the legacy is what Malcolm left us. He didn't even know he didn't own his home. He was homeless and all of that. But his legacy is the symbol of what he was. You know what I mean? And what he stood for. So the legacy that I like to leave is who I am and what I stood for, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I leave back, because you could take that and use that with nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's like I constantly reflect on two important things. I don't want to keep you, but I look at who people are and their legacy. Like when I was in Ghana, right? And I went to Ghana 3 years after Kwame Nkrumah had got disposed by his people.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And they wasn't really happy with Kwame Nkrumah at the time, but the whole Black world loved him. His legacy is what he stood for, even though his people wasn't happy because they couldn't see what the global significance was for people of color, right? And so Kwame Nkrumah started the Pan-Africanism movement.
Right.
So the symbol that he left behind, regardless of what happened to him and his people, the symbol of what he stood for and what he tried to do is what made the difference. So he'll always be a symbol for Pan-Africanism. regardless of what a minority of people of color thought of him. The same way with Obama. A lot of black people wasn't happy with what he was able to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because what he was able to do. But the symbol, when you look at him as a symbol, it changes. And the symbol is this. Our little children and great children and grandchildren, they won't be concerned about what he was able to push through Congress. They will be concerned about a black man was the head of the most powerful country in the world at a particular time.
That's right. And I want to say this right now. You are a national treasure. You are necessary. And even hearing you speak this wisdom of connectivity, I appreciate your offering even more, man. So in the spirit of symbols, you are an iconic one for us, and we love you. So on behalf of the Trifecta Gala, myself, Kenny Burns, thank you, Dan. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to reach young people, man. Thank you, man. Please keep on doing what you're doing, man. You know, all my blessings to you.
Love, OG. We're going to get together soon.
Okay, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.